When I first encountered Zaha Hadid's work, what struck me was not just the bold shapes or the dramatic curves, but how her buildings feel alive. They almost move. Today, we'll explore 3 of her projects that redefine what a building can be, and maybe along the way, we'll uncover why she remains one of the most influential architects of our time. The MAXXI, or the National Museum of 21st Century Arts, was Zaha Hadid's first completed major project in Italy. At first glance, the concrete walls seem random, almost chaotic, but if you look closely, every line is deliberate. The building is essentially a series of overlapping paths and corridors. Hadid wanted visitors to feel like they're navigating a network of spaces rather than a single, linear building. Inside, the galleries are connected by ramps that twist and rise, so the experience of moving through the museum is almost like walking through a living organism. The natural light enters from skylights in unexpected ways, highlighting exhibits differently depending on the time of day. Hadid often talked about architecture as spatial experiences, not decoration. MAXXI embodies this philosophy perfectly. Zaha spent months experimenting with concrete ribbons and 3D modeling for MAXXI. At that time, using parametric modeling for construction wasn't common, but she insisted it was necessary to realize her vision. Next time you visit a museum, think, are you walking through the building, or is the building moving with you? From Rome, let's travel to Guangzhou. Here, Zaha Hadid was challenged to design an opera house in a city already saturated with high-rises and glass towers. Instead of competing, she imagined the building as 2 pebbles resting gently on the bank of the Pearl River. This design is inspired by natural erosion. The river shaped them over time. Hadid often drew inspiration from nature, not as decoration, but as a logic to follow. The interiors continue this logic. The main auditorium is a continuous volume with no sharp corners, and the ceiling subtly curves, so sound travels naturally, a blend of aesthetic elegance and engineering precision. The smaller hall is more intimate, designed for experimental performances, and even the backstage areas follow this flowing geometry. Everything is integrated. There are no arbitrary walls or corridors. Hadid collaborated closely with engineers for this project. Some of the curves were so extreme that traditional concrete molds couldn't be used. They had to invent custom solutions for every panel, which makes this building as much a feat of engineering as of design. And finally, the Haydar Aliyev Center in Baku. Often when people see this building, they say it melts into the landscape. That's because Hadid intentionally avoided rigid angles. Instead, she created a continuous surface that wraps the landscape, the interior, and the exterior into a single, fluid volume. The interior is surprisingly human scale despite its monumental size. You can follow ramps that curve gracefully, and the way spaces open into each other encourages exploration. Visitors report a feeling of curiosity, almost like the building itself is guiding you. That's the genius of Hadid's design, architecture as a journey rather than a container. Many of the contractors initially doubted that Hadid's vision could be built. But by using advanced parametric modeling and innovative steel and concrete solutions, they achieved what seemed impossible. Every angle, every surface, every curve was intentional, not aesthetic whimsy. Imagine trying to build a building where walls flow like water. That's Zaha Hadid's world, a world where the impossible becomes tangible.